Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then you mad. Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then you mad.
Hey, what up, G Team? It is Major G, and now that I've finally finished my list, I can actually erase all that now, since I finished it, or it's out. Now that I've finally finished that top 15 list, and you know it's up. Please, if you're just watching this coming from something else, please go check out my top 15 live action film adaptations of anime and manga lists. It's a 4-part series, and I think there will be some surprises because there are definitely some movies on there that I've never seen anyone mention in any of their top anything lists for adaptations. So, yeah. Anyway, Watch Mojo put out this top 10 worst live-action anime films. So I'm going to be watching that. That was a couple months ago. Going in the other direction. I'm not going to make a top 10 worst list. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm way too kind and forgiving of adaptations. And honestly, I'm not sure if I could pull out 10 that are the worst. Weirdly enough. I can think of probably the top 3, but I don't think I can put them in any order in terms of which is absolutely the worst. So, yeah. Watch Mojo's top 10 worst live-action anime films. I'm very curious to see what they put up here. They've got Justin, what's his name? Justin Gatlin? I forget, but they have Justin here from from Shameless and another, what was that? War of the Worlds, who played Goku in the Dragon Ball Evolution movie, next to Goku. So obviously that's going to be up there. I'm pretty sure that's going to be number 1. Most people say that's their number 1. I don't think that would be my number 1. I've definitely seen a film, at least one film that can rival that one for worst. And it's not American, believe it or not. It's not an American flick. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get on with this. I'm curious to see what they have to say about this. Let me make sure I can. There we go. Make sure I don't get that double audio there. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get on with this. Top 10 worst live-action anime films from Watch Mojo.
We dreamed of seeing anime in real life, but
Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting.
Yeah, Gotcha Man.
Live-action anime.
Yo, Gotcha Man was bad. I was so mad about that.
Before we begin,
because like the best part of that movie was the first like
great content.
15 minutes of it, like basically the first battle, and that was it.
And manga stories to life.
This is Kite.
Failed miserably.
Ghost in the Shell. I wouldn't say Ghost in the Shell was the worst.
Number 10, Black Butler.
Really? Wow. Whoops. Black Butler was my honorable mention.
One of the most popular anime out there. A live-action Black Butler was kind of inevitable. While the choice of actor for Sebastian himself isn't terrible, the rest of the film failed to live up to
he was a pretty good Sebastian.
Most of the blowback falls on the complete character change of Sebastian's master, Ciel, or rather, Kiyoharu in the movie.
Well,
why is she a girl and not a boy, and still retains
that was
look?
that was
some
really weird.
Action scenes and tons of boring dialogue, and you've got a dish that needs to be reserved.
It was a detective series movie, but I don't understand why they made that casting choice.
Number 9, Speed Racer.
Oh, F you! F you! Speed Racer is the best!
The Speed Racer anime is fun and simple. Speed takes on the most dangerous races across the globe. When it comes to the live-action movie, it got a bit messy.
Take whatever you like.
Speed Racer was
CGI
awesome.
is so overblown that it makes you think you're watching a movie-length Hot Wheels commercial.
No, it was anime.
Over the characters, and a jumbled plot really cannot save it. Feel a bit bad for including this one, since the film has developed a cult following, but still, it's by no means a great live-action anime film.
Yes, it
The
is.
Wachowskis probably should have stayed out of this race.
No.
They're not alone.
No. F you.
Number
Speed
8,
Racer was the
Riki-oh,
best.
The story of Ricky.
I haven't seen this one, actually.
You talking to me?
Sentenced to prison for 10 years for avenging his wife, martial artist Ricky takes the law into his own hands, delivering a most gory fashion of justice. For a movie with such
Oh
a
my
serious
God.
setup, you'd
Is
be
that porn in the
surprised to find that
background?
Riki-oh is more funny than anything else. The acting is bad, but not nearly as bad as the horrible English dub.
You're pretty good. It's too bad you don't follow the rules.
The action defines the
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna go back and see that. Is that porn in the background? Yeah, that is. That's porn. That's porn in the background. Oh my god, that's porn. Yo, that's crazy. Those are totally naked bodies. I love that. That's great. Okay, sorry, I skipped ahead.
It's too bad you don't follow the rules.
The action defines the concept of
Oh my God.
but not in a good way. Some of the kills here are just silly, man.
That
Is
is.
it really
That's
what fans of the anime
ridiculous.
and manga wanted to see? Probably not.
You're all free now!
Number 7, Cass Hearn.
Kashurn, yeah. I wouldn't say it was a top 10, but Kashurn was not great. It was very disappointing.
When a robot revolution
There's
begins,
only
it's
like
up to
one
lone
good scene.
cyborg with daddy
Was it
issues
one
to
good
save
scene?
the world.
Yeah, there was one good
Previews
scene for
look
Kashurn.
visually stunning
It's
and
one of the
action-packed.
best fighting
Sadly,
scenes
while
ever.
The film is
But-
both, technically. There isn't much else going for it.
Yeah, it had like one good fighting scene. It was like one of the best fighting scenes
The
ever.
characters are not engaging.
That
the
one.
plot has so many holes you'll be falling through them with each passing second. And not to mention, it's really friggin' boring. Plenty of anime
Yeah,
fans
that's
are
true.
looking too pretty in order to cover for the lack of a good plot. Live-action adaptations should never follow this trope. Number 6, Kite.
Yeah, Kite. Yeah, straight to DVD. I have that. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Many filmmakers, including Quentin Tarantino, have
Is
a
that Will
soft spot
Smith?
for the Kite
No.
anime, especially for the action scenes. We're not sure they would have the same love for the almost actionless live-action feature.
Look, I get wanting to get rid of the bad stuff. What about the good stuff, huh?
Remind me what that would be.
The lead character may have a tragic backstory, but her portrayal is really dull. The story is not so impressive either, and the twists, well, you'll see them coming a mile away. Not even Samuel L. Jackson himself could save this film from its dismal
Yeah, he was in the spirit too, and it
0%
didn't help
on Rotten
that.
Tomatoes. Number 5, Guyver.
Oh, the Guyver! The Guyver! With Mark Hamill. Yeah, that was bad.
One young man and his alien bio-armor are all that stand between alien invaders and total annihilation. While the monster makeup isn't the worst ever, this live-action take on the popular 80s anime looks more like Power Rangers than a serious movie.
So why don't you...
Is that Jimmy? That's Jimmy Walker! Oh my god, it's Jimmy Walker!
Probably the biggest crime here is that
Dynamite!
Mark Hamill isn't the one to don the alien biosuit. That's
Oh,
kind
really?
of a missed opportunity, right?
Oh.
Save it for later. We still gotta find a way
I thought
out of here.
he's the star of the movie.
Devil Man.
What? There's a Devilman movie? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about in my movie
We
series.
love a
I
good monster
didn't
throwdown as much as the next person.
I didn't
Visuals look like
I didn't
this?
realize.
Come on, man,
I didn't
that's
realize that
cringeworthy.
there was
Based on
a
the 70s manga and anime of the same name, Devilman attempts to paint a
I didn't
faithful
realize this.
recreation of its source material. The story tries to fit in more information than it can and totally fails.
yeah, Devilman's like a classic in terms
The
of
acting is
the original
also beyond
series.
god-awful. And again, let's appreciate that these are the visual effects they've decided to use to bring Devilman and his demonic opponents to life. Cool.
That is pretty cool, actually. That is pretty cool, actually. That is kind of cool. F that. That's
Number
cool.
3, Attack on Titan, Part
Yeah.
1 and 2.
I don't know if I put it up that high. I would have had it lower.
Attack on Titan.
I'm
is one of the most
seeing
epic
I'm
and
seeing a
acclaimed
lack of
anime
certain
of the last
movies that I
decade.
would have
with
on
the
here.
promise of an awesome-looking CGI
Once again.
colossal Titan, this two-part movie should have worked. So, what went wrong? Well, the producers took way too many artistic liberties, showing little to no
Yes.
understanding of the main cast, especially
Yes.
fan favorite
Mikasa. Yes. 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 Yes.
The tone is so sporadic you don't know if you should be laughing or crying when somebody dies. The special effects are also inexcusably poor, and it honestly looks more like a fan film than anything else.
That's because it's Japanese. The Japanese don't put as much money into their cinema
Number
as
2,
we do.
Fist of the North Star.
Yes! Yes! Fist of the North
Fist of the
Star!
North Star is a well-regarded anime classic of the 80s, with a mix of Mad Max
Yes!
style
That was a
and
terrible
martial
movie!
arts. The live-action movie fails to impress on almost
That
every
was
level
so
of that
terrible!
I know.
Everything feels
Are they gonna
compared to
show
the anime,
Hokuto
from the
Hyakuretsu again?
acting to the sets to the rather tame action scenes. To be fair, they at least
There it is,
tried
yep!
to
Hokuto
save the
Hyakuretsu
by
again!
using Kenshiro's signature phrase, but that's probably the best praise that anyone can give this movie.
Don't turn your back on me!
You're already dead.
You're already dead.
With a heavy Canadian accent or whatever.
Before we reveal our top pick, here are a few
Go,
honorable
oh yeah,
mentions,
that's Blood.
dishonorable mentions.
Yeah, Blood. Blood was not very good.
I kill.
I was very disappointed when I saw that. City Hunter? But it has the epic Chun-Li scene. Yeah, Gant's perfect answer. Yeah. Specifically, Gant's perfect answer.
Number 1,
Dragon Ball Evolution. Not surprised. Not surprised at all.
The horror. Terrible casting, weak visuals, weaker action, and a spiritless story. And that's just scratching the surface of everything that's wrong with this adaptation. We have waited forever to see Goku and Vegeta lock fists on the silver screen. Instead, we were given Dragon Ball Evolution.
Was it Gatling? Just
Fan backlash against this film was so great that the world saw a sudden boom in the Super Saiyan population. Seriously, there are few movies so offensively bad that their own director has had to make a public apology.
wow.
I'm so sorry that I hurt you. I would never do that on purpose.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.
All right. So, firstly, we gotta fix this. Speed Racer does not deserve to be on this list. Speed Racer was the best, okay? Speed Racer was awesome. And that's because of its cartooniness. I don't know why people seem to miss out on it. It's supposed to be cartoony because it was supposed to be cartoony, you know? The bright colors were reminiscent of the anime and the fact that it was a cartoon. Everybody was completely silly because it was supposed to be a cartoon. This is not just the serious Japanese version. This is the Western adaptation of the Japanese version, which was sillier than the original. Okay, so no, they knew what they were doing. It was and it made for a great movie. So no, number 9, Speed Racer, no, does not belong there at all whatsoever. Secondly, Attack on Titan should be lower on that list. It probably should have taken over Speed Racer's position. I do, however, agree with their top 2. Their top 2 were pretty much on point. I don't know if I personally would have put Dragon Ball as number 1. Because once again, as I said, I could think of a couple others that are probably as bad or worse. Fist of the North Star being one of those movies. Fist of the North Star was horrible. It was just terrible, absolutely terrible. And I was rewatching a clip of it because I have it, and I realized that the guy who played Shin wasn't all that bad. But everything else was absolutely terrible. I mean, you have Malcolm McDowell being called Ryukin. Like, what the? Malcolm McDowell is Ryukin, who is Kenshiro's master. And then you have this white dude, Gary Daniels, who's a martial artist, but he's Kenshiro. Obvious Japanese names. Shin is okay. I can get away with that. But like, I can let that go. But like Kenshiro and Ryukin are obvious Japanese names that you're talking to these white people with. I know, like, how can you do that with a straight face? The Hokuto Hyakuretsuken was though it was probably an accurate reproduction of what should have happened, of how it would though it was an accurate reproduction, though it was probably an accurate reproduction of what it would actually look like if it were done in real life, it lost the epicness of it being done because it was done in a realistic manner. So, because like that's what he does. He just kind of like taps him. He's just like, and he doesn't. That was disappointing too. That he didn't even use the like he didn't do that. He was just like. And then he just walks away, and Zed's just like, "What did you do? You just what's with all this tapping? What you tapping me? It's like mosquito bites. What is this?" And then he walks away, and he's like, "You're already dead," with that heavy, I think it's a Canadian accent or Belgian accent or whatever it was, but he had a heavy accent, which made it a little more comical. But yeah, and if you didn't notice, yes, Dante Bosco plays Bat in the or Bart. Dante Bosco plays Bart in the movie. Very young Dante Bosco. Probably the role you don't want to remember him from. So yeah, Fist of the North Star definitely belongs up there. Dragon Ball Evolution was pretty bad, pretty freaking bad, because it lost a lot of pretty much everything from the original Dragon Ball series. Part of that can possibly be, I personally in part blame some of that on the fans not going to see Speed Racer, because when Speed Racer flopped, Speed Racer was the very first major Hollywood adaptation, and then when that flopped, Dragon Ball Evolution was the next one to come out a year later. And so what happened was that in Speed Racer, the Wachowskis had full creative control of the movie, which was why it was so awesome. Not bad. It was awesome. So that's why it was so awesome. And so 20th Century Fox, who made Dragon Ball Evolution, already has a terrible track record with a trope called executive meddling, which is when the producers show up on set, especially with 20th Century Fox. They show up on set and start giving notes to the director on how they want things to be done, whether or not they actually know the actual source material. And so apparently that's what happened they've done it with other movies. That's apparently what happened with Dragon Ball Evolution. And so they had a valid excuse since Speed Racer flopped, since the Wachowskis had creative control, and it still flopped. So yeah. So in part, at least, I kind of blame that on fans for not going to see Speed Racer, because it gave 20th Century Fox a valid excuse for them to go on the set and tell the director, this is how we want things done. As for the movies that I say should actually be up there that I didn't see, I was disappointed that Gotcha Man wasn't up there. Like, how do you have Speed Racer but not Gotcha Man? Like, really? Are you kidding me? Did you actually watch the movie? Gotcha Man was terrible. I think everything they needed to say about Speed Racer was actually about Gotcha Man, because Gotcha Man was horrible. The only good part about Gotcha Man was the first couple minutes when they go through this epic battle. Everything else was horrible. It was terrible. And the plot was muddled, and it didn't make any sense, all that stuff. That was Gotcha Man, not Speed Racer. Okay, Speed Racer was about Speed Racer breaking corporate there was a lot of corporate trickery in the racing community. And Speed Racer was an independent racer who was trying to actually do stuff legitimately. If you actually watch the movie, I just realized this after like watching it like 10 times. I just watched it again recently, was going through my clips, and then realized this. So if you actually watch the movie, Speed Racer, in the beginning of the movie, he's a very, very clean racer. And all he does, he might he generally avoids other drivers when he's driving, and he'll just like avoid them. It's not, and later on, he actually becomes an aggressive driver. Like he actually looks down on Racer X for knocking people out and all that stuff. And then he actually becomes a more aggressive driver because of the stuff that happens to him at the end of the movie. So by the end of the movie, he becomes even more awesome of a driver because of the fact that he's not afraid to be more aggressive. And then not only that, it's about the corporate BS that was the corporate fixing. That's the word I'm looking for. So in the World Racing Corporation was fixing races, like literally fixing races. Like they had these drivers, they would prearrange stuff so that the drivers only certain drivers would win, and it would like make stocks go up and all this stuff. And so Speed Racer was this independent dude just trying to do things the right way, and it didn't work out for him. So he had to go, and so it's not until he gets his chances dash of actually racing in the championship because of corporate BS that he gets pissed off and starts becoming more aggressive. And he still stays independent. He's still with Racer Motors, and it was a great movie. I don't know what they were talking about. I don't think they actually watched it. They probably read it from some critic or something, and the critic couldn't figure it out. But yeah, I've watched Speed Racer like 10, 15 times, and every time I find something new that's really cool about it. But anyway, yeah, about Speed Racer. So anyway, there are other movies that should have been up there. Gotcha Man. They showed the Gotcha Man clip. Gotcha Man should have been on the list. Sakigake Cromartie High School should have been on the list. There's a Cromartie High School movie, and it is awful. It is god-awful. Like, the first half of the movie is okay because it basically follows the manga or anime series. And then, like, everything after that half, like, it just spins off and goes off into outer space, into, like, another galaxy or something. Like, it has, like, nothing to do with Cromartie High School. And, except for the random part where they have Puton show up, which was kind of funny. Like, every now and then, Puton shows up. And then, let's see, so what else? Cromartie High School should have been on there. As much as I hate to say it. I really, really hate to say it. Tokyo Tribe would be on my list for the top 10 worst. And it hurts me. It really hurts me because I love the series. I love the Tokyo Tribe series. I love the Tokyo Tribe series. It's like one of the most original series I've ever seen. And yeah, and I was looking forward to MTV making a movie about it because MTV has the rights over here. They've never done anything with it. They've just been kind of sitting on their hands with it, with the Tokyo Tribe rights. And they were supposed to make a movie of it, I guess, starring a bunch of rappers, which actually would have been perfect. It would have been super perfect to have like a bunch of rappers starring in Tokyo Tribe, in a Tokyo Tribe movie. And what ended up happening instead was that I guess Santa Anyway couldn't wait, and they had the guy who did, I want to say it was Suicide Club, do that movie, and he made the movie into a hip hop musical, which would be awesome, except it was terrible because it was like the concept was so good, and like I feel like this is one of the times where if the U.S. had done this, it would have gone off so much better. Like the raps all fall flat and all this stuff. Like, and the plot had like very little to do with the actual Tokyo Tribe plot. So, which by the way is a little muddled. The Tokyo Tribe plot is kind of muddled, but it would still have been awesome to see a live action Tokyo, a hip hop musical of Tokyo Tribe, but the Japanese executed it very, very poorly. So yeah. So yeah, that's what I got to say about it. I know it's a lengthy video of me ranting about them putting Speed Racer on the list and how Attack on Titan shouldn't have been that high up on the list. There's certainly terrible live action adaptations. Attack on Titan is not a good one by any means, but it's not the absolute worst. I think that was more disappointment than anything else is why they put that up that high. There are others that really, really just were not very good and should have been much higher. Like, for example, Gotcha Man. Like, for example, Tokyo Tribe. Like, for example, what's another one I saw that was really bad? I think that's it that I can think of. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Cromartie High School, did I mention that? Tokyo Tribe, Cromartie. Oh, Gotcha Man, yeah. Tokyo Tribe, Gotcha Man, and Cromartie High School all deserve to be on a top 10 worst live action adaptation list because they were terrible, absolutely terrible movies, and they were arguably worse than Dragon Ball, as bad or worse. So yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Once again, please go check out my series, top 15 live action adaptations of film adaptations of an anime or manga. And until next time, be excellent to one another and party on dudes.
It's very reminiscent of other zombie flicks. Like, most notably, I think the one that really was most noticeable for me was the scene that I was just talking about when he's leaving the manga office and he's just running. He's running through the streets of Tokyo and like stuff is just chaotic. And that reminds me of the opening scene